A noble and ancient weapon, wielded by the strongest of Sangheili, requires great skill and courage to use, and inspires fear in those who face its elegant plasma blade. The energy sword was the symbol of Sangheili's strength during the reign of the Covenant, and even after the Empire fell years ago, it is still as deadly and as swift as its forebears. But what do you really know about this weapon? Do you know its origins? Its design? Well, today I shall reveal the hidden secrets of the most treasured weapon of the Sangheili. This is the Energy Sword. The Type 1 Energy Sword is a martial weapon wielded by Sangheili warriors for close quarters and hand-to-hand combat. Historically, use of the Energy Sword has been regarded as both an expression of a Sangheili warrior's honor as well as his combat skill. The origins of the blade can be traced back centuries before the Covenant, where the curved blade and the twin scythe defined the Sangheili's focus in physical combat. Curved blades are ancient Sangheili swords that were used for combat and hunting. Though many have passed into legend or are buried deep within the bowels of some family keep, there are some that are still bathed in the blood of foes in the modern era. The curved blade is a fairly simple weapon, consisting of a single blade and a right-angled handle. Though modern designs are made using metal, the curved blade was originally crafted from hardened resin found in trees which lined the coastal territories of Sangheili. Shortly after the Covenant was founded, artisans from Sangheili moon of Kikost developed the burn blades, the precursors to the energy sword. Burn blades were forged from metal and heated from within to deal devastating damage to targets. When active, the intense heat caused the weapon's metal blade to glow red from within. At a short distance, the burn blade's heat could scorch the exposed skin of any nearby individual. Burn blades were powered by a charger within the sword and activated by a button upon the hilt. The blade itself charred what it did not cut without cauterizing. These blades remained in Covenant service until the energy sword was developed in one of the ages of discovery. Since then, the burn blades were cast aside and the Type 1 energy sword/weapon came to be venerated in our society. While the burn blade is a primitive and archaic weapon, it still fascinates my clan due to its intriguing design from our early history, and as such, it inspires hope that we can continue to upgrade our arsenal. The energy sword is viewed as the logical evolution of President Sangheili blades. The mortiferous efficiency of the weapon has earned the energy sword a reputation on the battlefield as well. The glow and distinctive hum of an ignited blade adds to the weapon's ability to inspire terror, should you require it. The blade's simple, though elegant technology is comprised of superheated plasma contained and bound by magnetic lines that extend from the hilt. Mass-produced models generally feature a simple hilt design, but more individualized models can be quite ornate. Variation in the weapon itself can be expressed in both the shape and the color of the blade. A blade's contours can have either smooth curves or elegant angles, and whilst most energy swords glow with a blue tint, Sangheili Special Forces have been known to wield blades that blaze crimson, such as those of the Silent Shadow or of the Executioner class. The Plasma Sword is an extremely devastating and powerful melee weapon when applied during close quarters combat. A single strike can even penetrate the energy shield system's armor and flesh of Spartan and Sangheili alike. This is due to the design of the weapon, which utilizes ionized gas rather than traditional shaped solid matter. Because the energy sword lacks any solid material in which to hold or impale anything, the sword does not cut nor carve in the traditional sense, but rather boils anything it comes into contact with. Injuries caused by the weapon are often gruesome. Stab wounds by the energy sword are, in most cases, fatal. For you see, as the blade passes through the body and organs, they are instantaneously flash evaporated and then cauterized by the extreme temperatures produced by the blades. And those of Umdama Keep are even more barbaric. Their plasma blades burn less intensely, making it more difficult to cut through armor. But their injuries are much more grievous and do not cauterize. For a Sangheili warrior, it would leave them alive, but too wounded to fight. As a result, many would commit suicide to preserve their remaining honor, making any wound a dishonorable death blow. But with all its strengths, it has many disadvantages in battle. The Type 1 energy sword is vulnerable to other magnetic fields as they can block, disrupt, or possibly even alter the functionality of the sword. Two energy blades clashing together creates a small disruption of energy as a result of the same type of magnetic fields clashing together. This clash has a slight area of effect damage that can affect both combatants. As with most other Covenant weapons, the Type 1 energy sword is battery-powered, requiring the user to either recharge the weapon or discard it once the power has been depleted. Although the handle can generally be used as a club, if you are a desperate barbarian, the energy sword's combat effectiveness is at that point minimal. Last but not least, the Type 1 energy sword can sometimes expose the position of a Sangheili warrior employing active camouflage due to the weapon's energy output. Yet, despite these failings, it is highly valued to our race. In society, the energy sword is regarded as holy, and believe that it is better for a Sangheili to fall on his sword to redeem his honor rather than to die dishonorably. We are very strict on who can be trained in the art of swordsmanship. In civilian life, only those within the Sangheili aristocracy are permitted to wield energy swords. Sword wielders, however, are not permitted to take a wife, though they may breed with any female of their choosing, married or otherwise, to ensure the swordsman genes carry on in future generations. In military service, however, the same restrictions are not placed amongst the warrior class, especially during the time of the Covenant. Minors were generally not permitted to wield the sword because of the high regard in which it is held, though exceptions have been made in the past. But within the Swords of Sanghelios, many of our brothers wield their energy swords as they charge into battle. Which reminds me, note to self, resume repairing Major Daram's energy sword, and touch upon finger hydraulics on proto-arm design number 43. Over the centuries, many swords were carried into war, but their history were not worthy of attention nor reflection. Those few items which reflect the glory of their user are rare indeed, weapons and armor which come to be recognized as more than mere tools, as possessing the heart of a warrior, however small, are highly treasured and stored away, a reservoir of glory and honor that can be redeemed in times of great need. The Arbiter's chosen blade is one such artifact, an ancient blade taken from his clan's vaults and given new life, new purpose, and new foes to slay. The old name of the blade was told in stories and sung in song, dating to before the Writ of Union, but the Arbiter took the unusual step of reforging the weapon, preserving its honor and history, but changing its destiny. While the weapon was repaired and regrown in the traditional manner in his clan's forge, the Arbiter insisted on incorporating components of the energy sword that took the lifeblood of the Prophet of Truth upon the Ark. Sangheili relic weapons are never named by their wielder. They must acquire an identity from fearful whispers and roaring shouts. But it was not long before the Arbiter's blade was known across Sangheili space as an instrument of change and self-determination, a true inheritor of the original Swords of Sanghelios. And so, it is that Thelvadam who bears the title of Kaidon, Arbiter, Supreme Commander, Judge, Traitor, and Leader wields the Prophet's Bane, and soon, perhaps, the Covenant's end.